All right. So welcome once again. We want to start our discussion. I have given some few preliminary comments, but since we have just started our recording for the benefit of your colleagues who are not with us and who want to hear. Let me say it once again, that this is PHCL, that's Philosophy and Classics 102. Not any other course that I teach, but this is PHCL 102, and I'm addressing City Campus Wednesday, 12 noon group. Okay. Now you may be with another group, but you thought that you want to still pass through and listen. That's fine. Just bear in mind that if I were to give any instruction specific to group, then I'm addressing our Wednesday 12 o'clock group. Right after this, we'll still have a third session with City Campus, but with a 2:30 group. All of that is for a reason. We want to make sure that we are giving students as much opportunity to ask questions and to seek clarity as much as possible. We don't want to crowd all of you into one big Google classroom of say over 1,000 students. And then when you ask any question, 200 people raise their hands and you can't even trace who is asking what. And it can get a bit frustrating when you really need clarity on some content, but then the audience is too big or too large a class. Okay, so the rationale for such interspersed, and smaller chunks of class size, the rationale is to help for a real effective interaction. So I saw one of your colleagues, or perhaps the TA or a class rep, I didn't look at the name, but I saw someone send a chat, mute your microphones, and I want to commend that person, making an effort at helping us have a real interactive session. We will start our in-person, like I have already announced, on the course side, Sakai. We'll do some in-person, which is also structured. But I think that the online like this helps to set the tone and the framework for the interactive times we are going to have. I will not joke. Very liberal. I believe I have a very accessible personality, but I can be very firm and insistent on doing things appropriately. So if you signed for a certain time, we are over 1,000. You attend that. There might be one or two exceptions, that's okay. But we don't want to be expecting that we are going to have Wednesday, say, 12:10 to 2:10 class. Then half of the 2:30 class students come, and then there's chaos and everything. No. So I want us to work that way. Then you would want to also keep yourself abreast with notices that are posted, especially on the primary platform for communication, your classroom, your lecture room, which is what Sakai. It will have all relevant information that you need. But we can't post every specific detail there, because then you would have about 50 announcements already as we speak. So some of the things that are, okay, I'm logging in, or I just have a network challenge right now. I don't have to go to Sakai and write, I have a network challenge right now. So student, hold on for 5 minutes. Then I send that into your emails. You will have several of those. That's why the official WhatsApp platform was created to assist you. And I am on the platform, yours truly. And then your TA, your able TA for this group is also there. Then when I say you're able TA, you have 5 TAs. We'll meet them in person, don't worry. So that you can know that these are all the TAs you have. But then perhaps this specific person is within your reach than the other. So all the 5 of them will be introduced to you during the in-person session. So we have a specific TA on the platform to become my ears and my legs. Sometimes you'll be doing so many things because of the numbers we are dealing with for all the courses that we teach. So then that person can quickly relay some information that will help you and then pass it on also. Since we can't be sure of who is on our platforms all the time, we don't always want to blame our students directly for some of the nuisance that is created especially when you open the site temporarily for people to suggest something. Then you see people selling stuff, people posting everything, all that. We'll deal with that one off our official recording. Okay, but the WhatsApp platforms are also officially set up by myself to help communicate. So if you have access to a smartphone of any type, then you also avail yourself to content that are posted there. So you have your course outline, the syllabus on the course site, Sakai. You have resource tool where every content of the course is uploaded. When I say that, it means you won't get the real video on Sakai because Sakai has a restricted space, but you have a link that takes you to the videos. That one, you get it. But then I have gone ahead to give you the channel where all the videos are actually uploaded. This one is a YouTube one. Subsequently, I was using the Google Drive. So the YouTube one gives you enough space for you to upload so many videos. And then I haven't restricted them so that you can see what was discussed, if you like, with group one or Wednesday group main campus or Tuesday group city campus. It will be at your beck and call. You decide that. You could download all of them. And then maybe when you listen in, say, okay, this one I understand, then you throw it out to create space or whatever. So you go there, look for PHCL 102, and you are good. Perhaps you don't know what to look for. So you go to the resource tool and look at the topics. I will put on that document that has the link, I have put topics that have been treated, videos that have been uploaded. So you just use that as a guide to pick what you feel is useful for your specific course and group. That would be my introduction of a kind, because you would have met me some way, somehow. If you haven't, you still have now. That's what is important. I think a final update would be that if you go to Sakai, like I've advised you to, you don't wait for Sakai notice to come to you, whether via WhatsApp or email, whatever. You don't say, hey, but when did they post this one that I didn't hear? How are you supposed to hear? Who are you asking? You go and get it. So Sakai is your reference point. You get up in the morning, just like you check your mails, you open Sakai, go to the specific courses site. So if it is this our course, you go to PHCL 102, so and so and so and so. Select it, go to your announcement tool. Is there anything for me? Because I may have copied your emails, but perhaps you didn't receive it, or it is delaying, it's in the trail, etc., etc. So if you go to the site announcement tool, you will see what has happened there. You read everything there. Those who haven't done that, read everything. You go to the course overview, the syllabus, you will see the whole detail of the course, the expectations, what the aims, the objectives, the goal, what measurable outcomes, assessment schedule, when you will be expected to do which assessment. On your schedule, assessment 1 will be done in week 2. That is why it is opened now to give you more time. More time, you see, so you have 1 week instead of something that should have been done 1 hour. And let's say that you should sit at the lecture hall and write in an hour, at most 2 hours. You are going to use 1 week. There are 24 hours in a day. You use 1 week to do it. That some of you would not even know that there's any assessment opened. It is a reflection paper. So whilst you are reading, you are using it to write. And that is how I'm going to assess you for that particular assignment, so that you don't have to read and put it down before you come and think and write. So it is not timed. You can go in and come out anytime. When I say go in and come out, you can start with write the first line, then maybe you have to go for another lecture, or you are tired, or you want to research a bit more, you see. So then you go out of it and come back again. So far as you have saved it as a draft, you are okay. You can always come back to it. When you are totally done, then you submit. Look out for the word count. Don't exceed it. It's 600. Don't exceed the word count. I have already put that there. It is not to scare you or to restrict you or to make you struggle. Maybe you have written only 200, you don't know what to write again. It is to help you know how to write and write well, not just for this course, but for all other courses. And then do not plagiarize. That is where you take someone's idea and present it as yours. You can write it, but you write it in your own words. Please, those who are claiming one or two persons have said they can't hear. Can you use an earphone, or can you increase the volume of your gadget, laptop or phone? It can help you increase the volume there. Could be that you have lowered your volume. And then, or you could join with the gadget's audio. So try that, because I don't think it's a general issue. All right. I think I've given some good pedagogical content that will help you. Now I'm ready to take your questions, your point of clarification that you seek, if any, or your contribution. If there isn't any, then we are so done. So this is not a lecture. The lecture is already delivered. Lectures 1, 2, 3. Lecture 1, what is philosophy? It contains how to do philosophy, approaches, methods, all those things are there. The value of philosophy, what it is not, what it is, Kwame Jechi's view of philosophy, all those very valuable content is delivered as a lecture, uninterrupted. So you listen all the way through like you would have done if I entered the lecture hall with my physical high heel. Then I greeted you, you respond, then I start. I'll introduce, I'll deliver the lecture afterwards. Or intermittently, I'll ask, do you have any questions? Then people will ask. So you have that lecture, thankfully, all recorded for you. You can even play back and play back and play back and play back. I am here only to take any questions, or could you throw a bit more light on this? Or what you said, Doc, does it mean this? That is what we are here for. So if there isn't any question, then we will be so done. Abigail, you're welcome. We'll be so done. Then you can go and listen to your colleagues. We've had quite some good session. I really, really enjoyed them. Yesterday's one that I have already uploaded, and then the main campus had a session this morning that is also recorded. I am here to upload because I'm holding this class. So I'll take my time and do that for you. I've seen 2 hands, that's good. If there are others, keep them up, please. If you don't know how to keep your hand up, find the menu on your phone or the gadget you are using. Find the menu, move down there, fidget with it, find it somewhere. You will see that when you select that, there will be icons there, some hands up, some giggling, some angry. You select the hands up. When you click on it, it will raise your hand on the screen. Okay, that is how you do that. Then those who have IDs like 10, 11, 20 days and iPhone 6 and what have you, respectfully, this is a formal setting. You see my name there. I have put Dr. Nancy Miles Bafoji there because it's a formal setting. We will play and be very friendly and liberal and all that, but we still want to maintain an atmosphere of collegiality, academic atmosphere, so that you don't get feeling lazy, and all chatty, and before long, it is no longer a lecture for you. It won't help you. So kindly change that. Do the name change. So you go to where your name is, select it. If it is a phone, it will give you the option to rename, that arrow pointing to the right. Then you rename it, put your name that you want me to call you by there. Okay. Okay, let's start with our interactive questions. I want to take Haruna first, then I'll take Shadrach, then afterwards, someone wants us to throw light on the reflection paper. So the question says, the reflection paper is your assessment 1. I will grade it. It is going to add up to your 100%. If we pile everything up till the last minute and ask you a question that is worth 70%, we are very wicked. Yes. So we spread it out. So you know that week 1, the focus was on this. So if a question is being asked, right, it will be on this specific team. It gives you focus. You are not anxious to cover 7 topics before you do 1 IE. See, so it is on our informed consent. What is philosophy? You would still, when you listen to the previous interactive sessions, you will see, listen to the video lecture proper first, then the interactions that have gone on, because as people ask questions, it helps to throw more light. Then get the hard copy. What's the name? the compiled material, because now it gives you the whole text. The PowerPoint just gives you highlights, which I use to develop the lecture for you. But the reading gives you the complete, content on what Ajay and Miles were arguing for, which they used beneficence, non-maleficence, and all that to clarify. Okay, that one plus all the other references. Some of them are a bit tricky. Some are seminal texts. You can get them online. It's not difficult to acquire or procure. So you may not need them. Some too, I'll find a soft book because I have access to them and then upload for you. But those that may be just 2 books of it, unless you purchase it online, the full reference is there. You can search for it online and ask to buy that book for that topic. Then the next one you buy. It's all in your interest. This one we have compiled all for you. So the specific topic from which this question has been asked for you to reflect on as you read is what? The Ajay and Miles paper contribution. And the question is, what, according to Ajay and Miles, is the response? What response are they offering? I don't want to answer my question. What response are they giving to help deal with what? The tension we have, that tension we have in pursuing autonomy, beneficence, non-malfeasance. They are offering a certain way out. If we want to make sure that we are not infringing on the choice of the patient, so we want to ensure that the patient's autonomous decision is respected. Yet, at the same time, we want to make sure that we have allowed the physician to do that which will benefit the patient. So sometimes you want to respect the person's view, but what he or she is asking for is not beneficial to him or her. I want to push the baby myself. Yeah, that is what that means, you can't say you are a mother if you didn't push it out. So I want to push it. Then the doctor thinks, look, or the midwife, I look at the size of the baby and I look at your strength and X and Y, because she's the expert. I think you should just do a CS. I mean, this hospital has a 98% chances of you going through CS without any complication. We are a very good hospital. We have this technical. This thing you want to push out, you may not come out victorious. Either you come without the child or the child will not come. You see, so you want to do that which will benefit the patient. But the patient, I use a trivial example here, where she says, I want to push it. But there might be some very pertinent reason why the patient also wants a contrary assistance or help. So you want to respect the patient's autonomy, yet ensure that what you are doing is beneficial. You want to ensure the principle of beneficence. At the same time, not just that which will benefit the patient, but also you want to avoid that which will cause harm. So you want to make sure that you are upholding the principle of non-malfeasance. 3 things required of you at once. That is the tension that I've already elaborated on in the video. And the question now is, Ajay and Miles make a proposal, not necessarily targeted at this, but you think that there is a way we can overcome this need of what? Ensuring that you don't infringe on the person's autonomy, yet you give him beneficence and you ensure non-malfeasance. Then the question put in a certain interjection, say, from an African communitarian viewpoint. The communitarian cry is in quotes. I should have put it in quotes. Or an African context, a certain African perspective to matters. So the authors are writing not from a general view or the orthodox view of medical practice, but they are looking at certain concepts. So you are now supposed to read the text. I don't speak every, sorry. If you haven't read it, you won't understand. When I say if you haven't read it, because the reading now covers so many things that the person is saying based on which he or she is making a proposal. Okay, but you have the lecture video, you have this one. Now this one is an assessment, an assignment. So you read it and now come and respond and show us what they said. The question wasn't too complicated. I'm just asking you to show what they propose as a response from an African communitarian view of a person. They have a certain understanding of what a person is, that they think if you think of personhood like as such, then you won't have to deal with this principle of ensuring, I mean, the tension will reduce or it might be erased totally, because the person may not be able to make decisions for themselves because perhaps they are mentally affected. But you want to make sure that you are ensuring autonomy, that he chose this mode. He says that he asked you to cut off his manhood. I want to use examples. This is Africa. You said the man said you should cut off his manhood. Was he okay? The woman said, cut off this, cut it off. The womb, take it out. Say, oh, madam, you say, take it off, immediately. This was the person while she was in labor. Take it off. When she pushes the baby out, she'll ask you, where is her womb? They say, oh, but you said so. I said so. When I was in labor, who told you that people think right when they are pushing babies out? So it can be dicey. What about if there is an emergency? It was an accident. We had to pull the baby out, the man out. He's having a heart issue. We have to take the person immediately to the surgeon for a surgery. Are we going to do autonomy? We want the person to respond. The person is in coma. He's dying. But if you go and give him blood, like a scenario with Ejabin too, and he wakes up and he tells you, hey, I don't take another person's blood. Someone said they can't see my face. Oh, don't worry about my face. But my face is there. Others can see. Let's continue. See, you go and do that. He says, you killed me the day you put someone else's blood into my system. God, the life is in the blood. I don't believe in that. I've told you in the video, but I understand those who argue that way, because it is important to them. You can't show people what should be important to them. You can only help them see it the way you see it. And perhaps if you have a compelling argument enough, then you may be able to get them to change their mind. But you don't impose your view. I can't force you to get an A. I shouldn't. I can encourage you and point out reasons why you should make an attempt at getting an A. But I can't force you to get an A. It is a disrespect to your dignity. If you choose to get an F, I have to respect you. I have to respect your rights of choice and autonomy. Okay, so what? So I'm saying that the principle of beneficence, non-malfeasance, plus at the same time ensuring autonomy, according to Ajay and Miles, can be, the tensions that arise when we want to ensure that all the three are respected and cherished and valued and preserved. We have all admitted, at least from the discussion and the video, practical illustration, that there can be a tension, ethical tension, when we want to reconcile all the three. If you don't know what ethical is, you are short-changing yourself. By now, you should have read, engaged the first lecture, looked at the references, and that is research, that's university. When I say metaphysical, you should have known, because I've even helped you out with the lecture already. So the lecture or interactive time is not the time I'm going to show you that philosophy has some branches, like the way medicine has branches. The dentist, and then the ENT, and pediatrician, gynecology. That is not the time to show you the branches of philosophy. You should have done that groundwork. That's why the videos are delivered for you. I've given you a whole concept to guide you. So when I say ethical, look at the discussion on introducing ethics. There was metaphysics, there was applied ethics, there was normative ethics. You should know those. And I'm not saying them from any screen. I'm saying them off my head, of course, because I've done it for some time now. But more importantly, because I want to give you good content. So I'm learning it. I'm not going to write exam, I'm learning. How about you? The one going to write exam. So I'm encouraging you to engage those videos. And sometimes people want to, but even locating it in a is a headache. So everything is on the channel. Go and subscribe. And as soon as you get a prompt, check. Is it philosophical questions, PHCL 102? Okay, then you are interested in what it is, then you can go and see. If it is not the course that I'm teaching you, but another course, you ignore it and continue with your life. Or you may be interested. You can while away time. I won't restrict you. Okay, so I'm saying that the ethical dilemma that we have identified in that lecture, ethical, you should understand, is how to reconcile those three concepts that are all a requirement, right and wrong, in practice of medicine. So we are doing ethics, but ethics as it's applied in everyday life. And we are doing what Kwame Gyekye has told us to do with philosophy. You ask, reflect conceptually on matters, but it should respond to practical life problems. That's why we are not just learning consequentialism, utilitarianism, right, wrong, the good, the bad. It will sound all abstract if we don't show you that these questions have practical applications, especially when we find ourselves in such a scenario. Okay? So what did these two authors, co-authors, say can help to fulfill that bit on autonomy? They appeal to something about how the African typically would define a person. They will not define a person as an individual. I just gave you a clue. So it can be Nancy who is asking you to do something. If she's not in the position to, perhaps her personhood is wider than her individuality. So there might be others that can make that up. So I've now started answering the question. It's not fair. Thankfully, I will upload them. So you read the text. My friend who asked that smart question, no, was a message. And then you respond to the question and react to that response that the people gave. All in 600 words. Very good. Next question. I will take Shadrach now. Shad, go ahead. Unmute your mic and go ahead. Shadrach, please go ahead. Shadrach is not close by. Then let's take Gifty Adoboa, my able class rep. Ah, that's Gifty. Okay. Gifty, go ahead. You're muted.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
It's about the informed consent.
Yes.
Consent.
Go ahead.
Patient's autonomy. Informed consent. I have unmuted. Yeah. Thank you. Please, my question is about the informed consent, the patient's autonomy. Madam, I don't really see why it's necessary for the patient's informed consent, because I feel as a medical doctor or professional medical doctor, you've been trained to provide care for the vulnerables in terms of health needs. So when they come, yours is to provide health, to them. Why must a doctor seek a consent from a patient before going ahead to provide what he's supposed to do? That's when morality comes in. With patients saying, you made an example of religious belief that suppose I am a Jehovah Witness member and I don't take blood from someone, or I don't take someone's blood. You're dying. So as a doctor, I'm supposed to save you. So why is it necessary for me to seek your consent before I provide the health need for you? I don't really see it's necessary.
All right, let me react. I know your colleagues may want to react. Thank you very much, Gifty. And I like that, the posturing. So now let's try to engage the matters. One, are doctors all knowing? Not necessarily. There are times that, and that it's not just directly doctors, but we are addressing paternalism, where it is as if the person is the expert, so he knows it all. There are times that you have been sentenced to Kofieko, that your case is a hopeless one. And then, or you can't give birth. If we look at the size of your fibroids, you have to cut them off or operate it. And then the person is saying that, but I don't want this one. I want you to listen to this one with a balanced posturing so that we don't rubbish people's alternative health. Only to find out that we thought we knew it, but possibly we didn't. I'm now playing the devil's advocate. When you throw it against the patient to take the patient's posture, that's what philosophy does, to help you see from the different perspectives. So I'm saying that they will tell you that you cannot, this size of fibroid, either operation or death. Then the person, you shouldn't do that though all the time, but sometimes you would want to consider that. They take them home and they give them herbal alternative health. And the person, the fibroids melt, especially those ailments like stroke, like those that people will label as say tupe, or someone cannot give birth. They're giving all the some are not compatible a couple, or some rashes is on the person's skin, and all the antibiotics in this world is not treating it. They go to the village and the grandma takes something. And I'm not talking about even a spiritualist. That was also part of the discussion there. But I'm talking about someone who knows herbs. We say, wait, one of my goats is going to deliver. I'll follow the goat to the bush and see the grass that goat will chew. Follow the goat, and before long, the person is returning with whatever the goat chewed that made the goat's delivery easy. The person just brings the same thing, gives it to the woman who has been in labor for 3 days, and you'll be amazed. Chews it, and the baby is out. So we are trying to say that the doctor may not know it all. He or she may only be working with the research available to them. That is one of the reasons that I will give, to be careful when it is as if this is my institution, I'm the doctor, I know it, I think that without this you are dying. So I have to give it to you. So listen or work out. It is a wrong question. If we have just that as blunt, what would you say to that? That's one. Two, who says someone is worried about dying? There are people who want to legitimately live this world of worry and confusion. See, this world of, he said, hey, but if you don't do, you are dying. He says, I see the Son of Man. I see heaven open. Like Stephen was being stoned. I've said this in all my videos. He was being stoned, my dear. And he was looking up and praying for the forgiveness of those who were stoning him. So there are people that if you hey, you are going to die. And so, oh, yeah, we try. Death is gain, says Paul. When I die, I have gained. You are worried about dying. For others, death is a gain. For example, the other side of it is that it is possible that the person may be derailed mentally. He has a problem rather. So that is where Gifty's issue comes in. You are there to help them. Because the person may be in a state of mind, like I said about the pregnant woman. So that is why it is a tension. How do you reconcile the two? Where do you allow your professional capabilities, at least as you know it now, your research available to you? Where do you allow that to help to guide your decisions? And where do you allow space for the patient, who is the one feeling it, to comment? There are times, maybe not common in Ghana or our African setting, but at least outside of our context, where people say, take off that life support. If you take it off, he's dying. That's what called euthanasia, mercy killing. Person tells you, take it off. You see, it virtually means kill me, help me to die. You don't kill the person trouble. You kill the person trouble. I say kill, I'm saying it's raw so that it will be offensive. You see how delicate it is. It's a choice the person is making. But that choice has implications on you, the one who is supposed to discharge it. That is why it's a dilemma. It's a question of, is it right? Is it wrong? Should we do it that way? Ethical question. Where, in which practical field in medicine? That's what we have engaged so far. So you won't have a yes or no answer. You will always have a view, like the way Gifty gave her view and said, so I would think this. But what I would want to add is that whilst you have your view, you should anticipate the possible counter view of others. Counter means the opposite. So you should anticipate that. You should mention that this is what someone who disagrees with your view may possibly think about this position. Then you respond to that to show the strength. Is it, please, we can hear, or please, we can't hear? Emmanuel Edu. If you can hear, then I'm okay. Anybody who cannot hear should kindly, like I said earlier, I don't think it's from here. I've done an earlier recording. So please check your sound, okay? So that you don't lose out. Okay, so you should always anticipate a counter response and then react to it. That strengthens your view. It shows that you know that this is possibly what someone may find wrong with what you are saying. But even then, this is your response to that person. Then you end your thing nicely. That's how you write. Okay. You get more on the other videos. Let me take. There was a second hand. Don't keep your hand down. When you click on that, unless your answer has been, your question has been clarified, then you can put it down. But you can keep it on. I see all of you. I'll give the opportunity. Okay. Let me take Grace now. Grace Apeka Abia. Then afterwards, I'll take Emmanuel Tibila Wasa. Grace, go ahead.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon. I prefer Doc, please. If you address me as Doc, it helps me, pa. Go ahead.
Yes, doctor. Okay, please, what Gifty said. Hello?
Can hear you clearly. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Upon what Gifty said, sometimes I do not think it's up to the doctors to make a decision for the patient. Because as you said, doctors do not know everything. They are also humans like us. Sometimes they do make mistakes and things like that. So when I watched your videos on YouTube, I decided to ask my sister, who is a doctor, about this, asking about patient consent and then doctors taking decisions into their own hands and then doing their own things. And then she gave an example of something that happened in a hospital in Kumasi, which was someone's parents came there, like his mother came there and was sick and was in a coma. The person hasn't woken up for some time, and the doctor asked the patient's father to sign a document in which the patient's father did not know what was in that document. So he asked someone else who could read that document, what that document was saying. And the person read it and told him that if he signs it, it means that they are going to remove the oxygen from his mother. And then in that way, they will allow his mother to die. Meanwhile, as he was saying, someone was saying that to him, someone had already signed for his mother, in which he did not even know that that was what had happened. And the doctor, they didn't actually explain it to them that this is what they are going to do. And they made them sign. And then one person had already lost the mother in this process. But my sister said that person who had asked them to read, I think in a few hours' time, his mother started to react to the oxygen. So they had to remove it and say that she was now okay. So imagine if he had signed it and then they had removed it, meaning he had killed his mother unknowingly. So I think it's not always up to the doctors' right to do what they want. They should also ask our consent also. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Grace. I think this is refreshing And it also adds to the reason why it talks about such paternality. When I say paternality, I'm the father, I'm the boss, I'm the lead, I'm this, so I have to have my way. It's gradually being questioned. It's not because our able, very valuable doctors are not doing their work, not just doctors, even physicians, even spiritualists that supposedly are helping some. I say spiritualists because some believe in that. You know, the person is maybe mentally sick, so they've taken him or her to a certain garden. We Africans, we shouldn't pretend that we don't know that. And the person says you should use you should cane them every morning so that the demons will go, something like that. You shouldn't have a posture that you know it all. Sometimes the patient or the one receiving help from you, even at home, sometimes, if we want to extend the argument, the caregiver who comes to take care of the pension grandpa or grandma, she has a diabetes or something. You want to give the medicine this time, then she says, this morning how I'm feeling, I feel that this particular codipine or something, philippine, so I take it. I feel opposite to what I'm expected to feel. Don't say, this woman, did you see the picture of that help? I don't know if it's a video of the house help who was feeding the baby. The child is not eating the food. Then you are forcing it down until the child is dead. Sometimes midwifery, okay, the person is in labor. She's telling you, the way I'm feeling is sit down, you're inexperienced. Or I won't wait. That just means you just started giving birth. You don't know labor things. The person is feeling, she's telling you she's in pain. We are troublesome sometimes, yes, but you want to give a hearing. So you have to balance it. Sometimes too, the person says, is the patient rather who is saying, I won't take that your medicine. I brought my own medicine. Complicating issues for the doctor. What should she do? What should he do? You came here for me to assist you. That was Gifty's point. If you know you have your alternative health, then don't come here. Or when you come and you feel that you are tired, ask and pack your bags and leave. You see. So we have that tension. And because it is not a straightforward issue, that is why it's a philosophical one. We are here deliberating and looking at the alternatives. And my question in the video was, if you were the ethics committee head, how would you advise and why? So we have seen one person make a case for the physician and the need to allow the physician to give you the help that you need, things that will benefit you and things that will prevent harm, not malfeasance. Then we just got a reaction that wants you to say, well, that is fine, but sometimes, and I think I would want that kind of language, sometimes it might not be helpful to always insist on the paternalist or if you like, the physician's way. It might be the contrary. So we are set off on a good note. We are deliberating. Thank you so much, Chris and Gifty. Now take Shadrach. Are you okay now? Can you speak now? I called you earlier.
Okay. Hello, doctor.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello. Please, with what Gifty said with the hospital issue, doctor being attending to a patient, I'm saying, are you supposed to maintain the ethical side and also the religious side, or like something like the person wants to take blood for maybe survival, and the person is a Jehovah's Witness and doesn't want to take the blood, but still wants to gain life? Are you supposed to forego the religious side and maintain that ethical something?
Okay, so let me react. I think the question really is, even forget the religion, suppose it wasn't the person's religious persuasion. It is rather maybe a matter of business or whatever the reason is. What our focus is on is the person's choice. It is the person's autonomy, choice. I am me. I choose not to. So I'm the patient. So that we don't even trivialize it, because it will depend on how much weight anybody places on people's religious beliefs and practice. There are students who will not write an exam on a Saturday. Yes, very brilliant students. I have students like that. And as much as I respect and honor what their beliefs are, I'm a bit worried. Sometimes even the receipt then is also being done on a Saturday. So when they register to receipt it, it is done on a Saturday. Then be at 2 years, the person is still not graduating. So people can be very passionate about what they believe in, and you cannot begrudge them. When you come and see me speaking my tongues somewhere, you think I'm crazy. You see, because I believe in it, others may not, and we have to respect that. Someone will bow down and pray and hit the forehead, boom, 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 5 times. You have to respect the person. They know and can call you lecture. The person is not a lecturer. You know how they got there. So we respect people's beliefs. But here, we don't even make it a matter of belief, so that we may want to trivialize it and say, hey, now you are sick, you won't come and take medicine, you're going to do blank. When we talk that way, we might trivialize it. So let's focus on the real issue. The issue is the person chooses. It is his, whether from religious, for religious reasons, or the woman who says, don't shave me, even though you have come to push my baby. I'm pushing my baby. The sister says, don't she? Because it's a sign of her authority. Culturally, she is the lead of a certain group. When I heard it, I was so shocked. If you shave that place, you have taken away what's the expression? The scepter of justice that she's holding, or her state sword. You see how our president Anadu will hold the state sword and go, the one that is that is the authority she wields. So the person who shaved it to make the place clean for her, so the baby will come without any infection. She doesn't know what she has done to the baby. She can't be the queen mother or whatever. I don't want to mean it wasn't a Ghanaian certified, it's African. You have taken away the right she has. So this one wasn't religious, it's cultural, or if like political, it's authority. So if the person tells you, I don't eat pork, so this very good medicine, or this very good injection, or vaccine, or what have you, that has pork in it, I won't take it. Forget about whether it was religious or the person has autonomy. The human person with a choice, with a dignity that must be respected. When we advance, you see that I've done a paper that reconciles choice with responsibility. The individual in the individualism, communitarianism debate. Very interesting paper. But I have to come. I'm talking about myself now. You can read. You can read. I could send you that link. You can freely download it somewhere on the internet. Okay. So it means that I am not the type that will emphasize rights without a commensurate respect for belongingness or autonomy. You want to go and change your face because you have a choice. I'm a woman. Please change my face to that of a goat. Okay. Choice, my choice, my choice, my choice. How about your children at home? I have 4 blessed nations, children at home, and children. I have 4 blessed children at home. They are entitled, or they have a right to a mother. You have a right to change your face because it is your own choice. Well, they also have a right to see their mother, not that good that you want to take. So there has to be a reconciliation with the two. I'm just saying that so that we don't give a wrong impression about what we mean by doing right. But you can never ever overlook people's rights, autonomy. The best is to reconcile it with others. That's another discussion for social and political philosophy. So I'm saying that because people have their autonomous view, I am going to marry a lady. I bring the person home. I will show her to you and tell you that this is. Don't say, Oba we de yempeno. As for this woman, we don't want her. You and who? Tell me, advise me, because I need that advice. That is your wife that you are going to bring. Look at that. Really, she's even ridiculing us. When she came, say, hey, Obi, you people, what kind of bush is this that you are living in? Hey, is that the plate that they are going to serve me the food? And the family people are there. You can tell you, hey, be careful. Oh. The way this guy doesn't have regard for us or for you, doesn't respect, telling us literally that we are living in a stone age and all that. You have to be careful. That's fine. That's help. You are helping the person see something. I need to tell the guy that we don't want it. Are you the one who smell her something in the morning? They will sleep together and wake up. You go and give him or her a person of your choice. We're giving that example to show autonomy, and we bring it back to our discussion. He will wake up every morning and see her without the wig, without the makeup. Will smell the first breath. At least help him make a choice, but it should be his choice or her choice. So we know that is what makes a person, that is what underwrites what dignity. Human beings are not. So you see that the lecture emphasized that there is a reason why autonomy, people's choice, must be respected. Obviously, of course, not outside of the context. So you can't say today you have your own choice, so you are now a man. It's not something that you should think that way. Because if you say you are, I gave you that example. If I say today I'm a goat, I've gone for them to do plastic surgery and change my face, God forbid that for me, from a fine lady like this. Me, I'll say it, I want to change my face to that of a goat. What about my children? I have that right to change my face. You go ahead. But you have a mother. Your mother has a right to her daughter. So your rights cannot sit without an accompanying responsibility. Okay, that one we all agree. So when we have to discuss that, we will. Right now we are talking about where people want to forget people's choice. I choose respectfully to wait and see what happens than to cut off my womb. So if you think that, oh, that choice may not be an informed one, my sister, because of what I know in this my profession, you allow this saw to linger, you might have to end up cutting off your leg. So you are giving the options and showing the person. That is what informed consent is emphasized. Let the person consent, agree to it. And so it's a very important call. But we all admit, in our discussion stresses that we agree that what we want to ensure that people's choices, we want to make sure we don't cause harm. The child says she will eat, so you say if you will eat, let her sit down. Maybe I don't care. That's not good. But if you eat, me, I'll force her to eat. It's also not good either. So we are in a dilemma, and we are helping ourselves clarify. Okay. All right. So I use that question also to throw some bit more light on why informed consent should not be undermined or should not be a right, the one that you can easily write off in the name of seeking benefits. It's so crucial. You don't choose what you think is right for people. You follow this, your faith thing, and that is it not the faith thing that has given the person all the money that you want him to die so he can inherit it? So we want to be cautious when we think we know better. Thank you so much, Shadrach. Excellent input. I'll take Emmanuel Tibila now. Emmanuel, go ahead to say.
Okay, please, Doc, I was coming to respond to Gifty's this thing, but I don't know if I can go ahead.
Oh, please go ahead. Go ahead. We are interacting.
Okay. So at first, I was also thinking in her view, like I had the same view, but with time, I have realized that there is a different way to it. So in thinking in Gifty's view, I thought that many of the patients, before they get there, they are not in their right senses.
Yeah.
So it would be a problem for the doctor to be asking them asking them for their consent. But then I thought that the doctor should have the experience, if they are not in their right senses, to be able to see or how to reconcile with them, to be able to get their consent and reconcile with that. But then opposing that view, as the doctor, like whatever experience you may have, I'm not sure that you will be able to know what medical condition the person has had in the past. So if you think that you shouldn't ask for their permission, you may end up causing more harm than good, because maybe the medical condition I had in the past prevents me from receiving a particular treatment.
Yeah.
But because you did not seek for permission and you are giving me that treatment, it will rather cause more harm than good. So that's why I think that
So now you have revised your position a little.
Yes.
That's what philosophical discourse is meant to do. Thank you so much. Not necessarily revise. Sometimes you even get a more compelling reason why. Then my view is very strong. It's all well and good, but then we get a bit more open-minded about life. Life is not black and white all the time. Sometimes there are gray areas. Some of the areas are gray. They are a little bit of black, a little bit of white. And so the more experience we get in life, when I say experience, the more open we get to life, we become so calm. When people are doing, they are so calm. Then you help them. Okay. So thank you for the input. I was going to say something when you were talking that if the person started antenatal, for example, I keep using example that we all can share in. I don't want those that are a bit too far-fetched. If the person started antenatal at your institution, and you think that your hospital will insist on giving you, I did one of my children, the twins, I did at Kodesh Hospital, the Lighthouse Hospital at North Kanesh. When you start a very great facility there for paternal care, when you start your antenatal, Auntie Frank, I'm sure that this thing will go around some way, somehow. If you listen to it, God bless you so much. It's a beautiful environment. From start, they'll tell you if you have to do a CS and there's the possibility of you needing blood because of the procedure, would you admit it or not? So that you make the decision, not at the time that it is crucial. Okay. So if you have that option there, if you've got that opportunity, then make use of that. The person has cancerous condition, for example, you should ask the person, would you want to go through MRI or chemo or something? Then give every relevant information. That's what informed consent is. And Grace's very practical example helps us so much. Tell the person that the thing you are signing, this is what it means. Don't say, oh, they're signing, that you know. Madam, sign this place. Then if you go and get the book, long people like us will be asking, what is it that you're asking me to sign? Say, hey, your child is so and so. If you don't sign it, hey, that is not consent. At least not informed consent. Sometimes it is so clear and it's just one page, it's not even a big document. But the thing is in technical English, a theoretical definition of words, big words that whoever is signing doesn't understand. It's just a short document. It didn't take long to read. But it needs time for explanation. So that it is not enough to show a document. It is important for that the person would comprehend. If it means translating, like Grace said, they have to get someone. They said, this thing means we should take off the life support. Let me decide I want to die. Like Stephen, I just want to eat pepper and salt. You want to live. So that is one instance. Then the patient to the other side of it, I think I should speak now a little bit for the physician too, who are sometimes caught in a fix. When we are asking, can you sign this thing? Say, please, I'm waiting for our uncle. Our uncle is coming. So he said, look, if we waste even 2 extra minutes, you brought this person in. If we waste 2 minutes cry about this thing, we will lose the baby. The baby, the water already broke. If you haven't given birth before, don't worry, just keep that in mind. The water already broke before you left home. So all the water is drained out. The baby is now lying in the tummy or down there without water on them. If we do a cesarean immediately, we have some technology, we can revive the child quickly, but we need your permission. Say, and the doctor, tell me the welcome. You said it. But my daughter, she's a lecturer. She's coming. Then they can't do anything. But the one who is doing the physician is also worried because of the other principle. Not only that they love their work, but there's another principle that this physician wants to ensure that he or she has what discharge beneficent, that which will benefit the patient. That is what Gifty was drumming home. You are waiting.
Yes, madam, I want to interrupt again.
Yes.
I want to interrupt.
I'll shut up in 2 minutes so that I talk. So we are balancing it to see that this person is waiting for authorization, even from the woman herself, who is in labor. My husband is coming with a you're killing your baby. You will come and blame the hospital or the institution. So where do we reconcile? You see, my dear friends, all I've tried to show you since we started is that it is a dilemma. It's an ethical issue. There is something that we have to reflect on together as philosophers, thinkers who are trying to respond to an ethical question. We haven't gone to metaphysics. Is there life after? No. We haven't gone to epistemology, knowledge and certainty. No. We haven't gone to aesthetics. What is beautiful? What is not? No. We have just started with one question, one branch of philosophy, an ethical question. We are focusing on just medicine. And you see the tension there. We think and reflect and give options to society. That's what philosophers do. No wonder every degree you earn is called philosophy. If you like do a cons for you, like economy student, when you finish, it is MPhil in a cons. MPhil, Master of Philosophy in Economics. That is what you'll be given. Because it's a philosophy. You can't bypass it. Gifty, interject, then I'll take I think Emmanuel spoke earlier. So then I'll take Jude and then come back to Emmanuel. Gifty, go ahead.
Yeah, per all what you've said, madam, doctor, sorry. Taking a condition like a critical, serious accident, then you are being rushed to the hospital. So it's not that the doctor is going to take you to the process of informed consent. It's now going to disclose to you if they are going to amputate, and then you would have to sit, analyze, comprehend what you're being told, think about it analytically. Hey, before you give your consent voluntarily, madam, no, this one day.
So you just gave a scenario where there wasn't opportunity. You see, that is how you write. So if you want to strengthen your case, like what you just said, you think that informed where there is a clash between consent, seeking the consent of a person before administering health, and then at the same time doing what? Ensuring beneficence. If there is a clash, if there is no clash, then you should make it an effort. So you write that way. But where there is no time, then perhaps, you see how I'm speaking, perhaps, and yes, I'm in you don't say then that one, the only way is to, who told you? The person might want to keep the leg as it is because he or she has insurance with some international, European hospital be somewhere. They will come and fly him out and they will not amputate the leg. You are sitting here with your crude system and you want to do something for the person without permission. You see how life is. I said the sister who went to deliver me. This is labor. You are dying. And because of the way the place was, if the baby comes out, everything, even a crantian, you can arrest. You get a crantian at that area. So they had to shave. If they shave you to this one, my sister, should it generate an issue? You have your bouncy baby. She nearly threw the baby out. That student who gave the scenario said. So I'm saying that when you have the opportunity, you should go through that procedure, that process with the patient. This is my place there. I do only help, so auntie. I don't do anything orthodox. So if you come here, I can't give you para. You think you are okay with it? The person agrees. But if we have an emergency,
Madam,
another scenario, okay. I will take Jude. Please keep your hand up. Otherwise, it will be chorus answer. And we are recording it for others to benefit so that they can play back without any. I'll take all your questions. I saw a Grace's hand, but I don't know. I think that she wanted to react.
hello, doctor.
Yes, please. Who is talking? Is it Jude?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's Jude.
Forgive me.
Yes.
You know, I thought of Jude as a sister. So when you were talking, I wanted to shut you down. Jude Nate said, go ahead.
Yeah, doctor, please. I want to ask Gifty whether ask him how neutral the doctor is, or how competent the medical practitioner is
on all sicknesses.
Is
Yeah.
actually the core. Yeah, informed consent is actually the core to actually giving out medication to the patient. I always say individuals have the responsibility or their right to do whatever they want, whether good or bad. They have the right to make their decisions, whether it goes against their liberty or it supports or, let's say, promotes the well-being of their living. So individual consent is actually mandatory for every doctor to actually seek the consent of their patients before carrying out any medication on them. Because we are in the world that doctors have external influences based on the situation. Probably you are not in to trust any medical practitioner because of how efficient they carry out their work. We are born to make mistakes, and individuals come in to actually influence doctors to do things that will go in favor of, in favor of them. So I think without the consent of any patient, the doctor should not proceed with any medication. And the doctor, being trained, should actually know how to actually get the patient in a condition to be able to talk to the patient, or let me say, explain to the patient the medication is going to carry out. And this depends on only the patient whether he likes that medication or not.
So thank you.
If the patient feels like the medication is against.
No, Jude, I disagree with you.
No, hold on a bit, Gifty, please. Let Jude make the point. What we are doing now is not antagonism against one or the other. It's opening out the matter. So I was going to react, but it helps when we let the person finish and then rounds up nicely. Then we can now react so that people can see, okay, so how about this side too? Okay, what about the other one? I was even going to, what about if the patient is blackout? The person.
Thank you, madam.
Madam,
Keep quiet for a minute.
Madam, when you go to the hospital,
the person is blackout.
The doctor will ask what's happening.
That is why I need everyone to read what the Ajay and Mouse paper is saying. Read it, you read it. Because there are times the person that we want to make the decision himself, I'm coming on, is the one that maybe is so drunk. What do we do? Or is the one that has that?
Madam.
Let me take Ivanji. I'll come back to you, Jude. Okay. I'll come back to Gifty. I'll come back to Grace. Let me take Ivanji. I think he wants to react quickly. So we are not doing an agenda anti this or anti that. We are looking at.
Madam, I want to add up to.
Who is speaking now? Is it Jude? Is it Jude? Jude, go ahead, and then I can take Ivanji after you. Yeah.
Okay, madam, I always say if we have the right to life, we have the right to life. Mm-hmm. So we have the right to decide on whether to live or not.
Yeah.
So if the doctor knows you are in a condition that probably might cost your life, it should actually trained to actually probably you lost conscience. It's being trained to actually bring you back to let me say, bring you back to
resuscitate
the position
resuscitate you.
That a position you can be able to decide on whether he or she should carry out with the rest of the medication.
The sister got broken heart, Jude. The sister got broken heart, so she has lost it. And the medication that we want to administer or the therapy we want to take her to will cause her to lose her fertility.
Madam.
What should we do?
Madam.
Let's
so, madam.
Come back. Think about it, Jude. Jude, think about it for a minute and come back.
Okay, so
relax and think about it for a minute. Okay. We will say like that nicely. I like what is going on. So you see different perspectives. Then those who are, some people just come for sessions like this and listen and write that up or down, then go and write. You will enrich your argument. Let me take Evangeline. I'll come back to Jude. I'll come back to, I see Grace's and I'll come back to Gift. Jude, Evangeline, go ahead. Evangeline, please go ahead.
You go to the madam, please. I'm talking now.
Yes, I'm now hearing you. So start. Oh, Evangeline, we can't hear you.
Hello, doc.
It's better now. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to add up to what Jude was saying. Madam, doc, please, when
Evangeline is going off again. Oh, I suspect reception. Turn around a bit more. We'll wait for you. Can't hear.
hello,
Yes.
my network. Doc, please, my
No, we are patient. So just move around a bit. So you get, when you get the spot, then you stand there or slanted. Like.
Okay.
I think it's better now. So go ahead. Hey, Ivan, you see, Yanum will allow you to make your input. If you could you type it into the chat? I'll read it out for you, Ivanji. Okay. I think he's supporting Jude. He wants to make a case that not supporting Jude as in a contention, no, but he supports the view that is being proffered by Jude. And I don't think we are disagreeing at all of us speaking. We are just emphasizing a specific. So someone says, if there's an emergency, why should we listen to any autonomy or something? So this person is saying that we can do informed consent and all that. If there's an emergency, then the principle of beneficence and normal fees should override autonomy. Other person is saying that, the doctor can do his work, all that, but where there was time, there was enough time, why wouldn't you listen? Like the one that the scenario Grace gave. The mother is still there. There are people there. There is time. So allow them, give them the information they need so they will make their decision. You are going to do plastic surgery for the sister to increase her hip size. Won't you tell her that this kind of surgery that I'll do for you, give you the hips, but every 3 months you have to come and pull the gel out and replace it, or don't sit near fire or whatever. Don't tell her that. Say, hey, with your home stars, all the stars are done. That's all you are telling them. What about the challenge? You see, so if you have this time for certain procedures and medication and what have you, informed consent demand is not difficult at all. And then for others, the principle of beneficence and non-malfeasance will straightforwardly be required over the other. But where there is an ethical dilemma, the dilemma means if you go north trouble, if you go south trouble, you don't know what to do. When you are looking for the right things, ethical, the right thing to do. That is what we are discussing now. So I don't think we are disagreeing at all, but we are emphasizing, each one of us is trying to place emphasis on one than the other. I see 4 hands, but the three names I see have all spoken. I want to see if the four. Let me take Helena Pashi, then I'll come to the others because Helena hasn't spoken at all. Helena, go ahead, please. I think this class has also done very well. I am so impressed. Go ahead, Helena. Helena, we are listening, please. We can't hear you.
Okay, Doc, thank you.
Welcome.
And list a number of people who can take decisions.
when you are in a
Hello,
difficult,
Doc.
yeah. If it's clever now, then say it. I think I heard you say you're supposed to list a number of people who can make such decisions for you that you trust. Did I hear that right? Bad reception again, but I think I got a
In
bit of what she was
yes,
saying. Yeah.
when you're admitted at the hospital, speak
Yeah.
on.
Okay. For the sake of the recording, let me hazard what I think I hear Helena saying, that when you were admitted, no, you see, someone will see, then you already indicate clearly that I want X, or maybe my wife, or my first son, not the second one, or my second wife's third child should be the one that should make such decisions for me. You see, this is beautiful, Helena, but only if the person's situation or medical condition allowed for such an exception. So maybe it wasn't an abrupt one, or it wasn't a mental issue. Because if it's a mental issue, then even this decision that he or she has to point out the people to make a decision for him, the person wasn't mentally okay in the first place. They won't even be able to indicate who should make decisions. So we are back where we started. But it is important, just like we talked about, the one that...
But Doc,
yes, please. Go ahead. Just like we said that the hospital where the person started antenatal should clearly tell...
Doc,
yeah.
I'm only saying this because she said...
Oh. Elena, we can't hear you.
Case the patient's blood...
If you don't mind, kindly write it in the chat, okay?
In case the patient's
we are having network challenges. Okay, so I've seen Gladys Ifriye's message. I hope that it is for us. He said, Doc, please, if it is based on a religious belief and your father wants you to marry from your religion, meanwhile you love someone else. So since your father has right over you, doesn't mean you have to accept your father's decision. Okay, so this is also an ethical question. He said that it's not on informed consent at the medical setting, okay? But it is still an ethical issue. The thing is, it is dicey. Our fathers may have some right over us, and we have to respect that. I've told you that you may have your choice, autonomy, what have you, but you can't cut away choice, right, autonomy from an equal recognition for responsibility, obligation, communality. You are not yourself alone. You are you and your communal others. I am Nancy, but I am Michael's mother, and I am Bride's wife. You see, I am all at once. I am your lecturer, but I am my father's daughter. If my father says, count in the phone, I will sit. I will sit like something, uncle. You know, but I am also my children's mother. I can tell them, sit down. So I am an intertwined combination of individuality choices, but at the same time, communality. You have to be able to blend the two. So I don't belong to the view that I'm speaking my view to, like you have been asking. I don't belong to those who do extreme individualism without recourse. They don't look back and realize that human beings didn't drop from the sky. Human beings were born into society. But at the same time, I won't advocate for a view that emphasizes community. We, me, yempeno, we, that is how we do things here. This extreme community centeredness without recourse to individuality, the differences people have, their choices and what have you. So your question has to integrate individual choice with what? Communality. Communality means your relation. This is your father speaking. How do you reconcile the two? There are times when there is a conflict, it's difficult. You don't know which one should override the other one. But you cannot think of it as, after all, it's my choice, so I'll do it. It's your choice. You were not born and dropped into the air. You didn't drop from the sky. You were born into a society. Even your language tells you that you, it's a melody. Even your language and how you are speaking shows that you are a communal being. So you have to reconcile the two. Can you negotiate with daddy? Can you ask him to see the way you are seeing it rather than being anxious? Do you have time to prove and convince the uncle that you have reason why you may be saying this, but could you allow me to amend it? Can you have it? I said the sister who came to sit there and is disrespecting your family like that and say, hey, also, we a few offer, you're too dirty in this place. That person doing that, how can she be your wife? By improving her. So can you help? Can there be a mediation? Can the individuality bit of you, your communal bit, interact and then bring out a better option? That is how you should, the posture you should adopt, my dear sister. Not you as you, but if there is any such scenario. Where we are now is actually at the medical setting. So if it's an emergency, perhaps you will have a different response. But if we had enough time, then you would want to make sure that see how to reconcile beneficence, non-malfeasance, and autonomy. And so the Miles and Ajay paper make a certain contribution that since persons are not just individuals, they are a combination of something and something and something. When it comes to such and such scenario, you can depend on so and so. You see how I'm speaking? I'm not giving you answers. You should read. Okay. However, they are quick to admit, like I said in the lecture, that this can also have its own challenges. But for the African who doesn't think a person as an atomic individual, baby, one atomic. No, persons are integrated and relational beings all at once. So my sister, the one who just put Helena's input will be relevant here. I may not be able to speak for myself, but can I have a next of kin that I trust, etc. Then we want to be cautious even there that some next of kin, as soon as they see your will or they see that, hey, this lecturer, not knowing all this while that she's doing this, come and see the money she has. Houses, this. Oh, I'll let her go home quickly. Bribe the doctor, tell them that this is her disease. She'll die in 2 days. Or tell them that it will cost her so much to do it. And then because of frustration, they will not. Like, this is a human institution. I'll take Grace now. Grace, please go ahead. Then Gifty, you'll be next. Then I'll take Helena and Shadrach. I think we have deliberated so much. Grace.
Madam,
Go ahead.
please, when you were talking about the they were talking about the emergency, saying that sometimes when an emergency comes, the doctor does not need to ask the patient's consent because at that time it's an emergency. Sometimes these doctors, sometimes they want to do that patient good because it's an emergency, but in the process of doing the person good, when the person comes back to life or when the person comes back to the normal state, you see that something else has happened to that person, and then in this state, sometimes they say that it's the doctor's fault and they blame the doctor for it, even though he was trying or she was trying to do good to the patient. So sometimes I don't think in a rush or in an emergency, the doctor should take the
Not
consent.
even exactly. So not even all emergency cases would require that you overlook autonomy. That is the point. So my dear friends, all of us, the writing or when we are deliberating, thank you so much, Grace. When we are deliberating, we want to be careful about. So if it is this there, then it has to be this. And this is the only way that is. When you speak that way, as soon as we raise such a counter response, you understand shaving power should be an issue. That someone blood, some are even looking for blood. There's no blood at the bank, blood bank for them. They are type. Then another one has it plenty, so I don't like. You see, so you can tell that there are varieties, and you should respect that because you cannot determine what is good or bad for the patient. Let me take Gifty now. Gifty, I'll take you, then I'll go back to Shadrach.
Yeah, Madam, Dr. Sorry. First of all, I would like to thank Grace very much because she's taking my words out of my mouth. Now to Jude. He said every individual is entitled to their right, if no right at all, natural right. You get it? And then I want you to know that I am never against informed consent. No, not at all. But then for one to be called a medical doctor, first thing you should know is that you've been trained to provide health assistance to people.
Yeah.
You get so like Grace said, in emergency conditions, in critical conditions, there are conditions where you hear of an accident whereby you can't even trace the people, like, yeah, you can't trace even their family members. You get it? So
very
that
important.
condition,
Please, folks, take note of that.
yeah,
Because
who are you going to
react to
ask?
our
Even
paper? React to
the patient the patient himself cannot talk. The family at least should be there to say something. But where are you even going to trace them?
Excellent.
At that moment,
excellent. This is an
the
excellent.
doctor is going to infringe upon the patient's autonomy. You get it? And then provide health
Give me a
assistance.
minute, Gifty. I was telling the class that you guys are lucky. Of course, I upload it for others to benefit. But what she has just said can be a reaction even to the Ajay Miles paper. Yes, because we are making a case that you can rely on X, Y, or Z to make a decision. But now, what about if those X, Y, or Z people are not even there, who are still part of the personhood of this sick person? Is not just an individual community, so he has relational others. What if we don't even have those? Which one? There's still a tension. Excellent. Continue, my dear.
Okay. Yeah, so that is what I want Jude to know. Okay, I just wanted Jude to know that particular thing, that at a point at the medical field, a patient's autonomy can be infringed upon by a doctor, even though we do make mistakes. But for him to be called a doctor, I mean, he's been trained purposely to offer health assistance to people. So you can't come and tell me at the hospital that you don't make mistake. That's his
Madam,
from what?
Thank you so much. So now, thank you. So
not all
Can I come in,
doctors
please?
you just keep your hand up. I'll pick you. Yeah. We are at
No,
United Nations.
you can't say all doctors,
Doctor.
not all doctors are trained.
Listen
For
to
you to
me.
be
Listen.
that certificate,
Yeah.
in fact, you need to be trained. You
Let
get
me
it? You
talk.
can't just
No, I'm not saying that.
No, Dude, please. If I don't give you the floor, don't. I have to do the anchoring well because we want to have all these rich arguments you all are making. So the point is, my reaction to Gifty before I even ask Jude to come in is that we are hoping that people are working with their training all the time, but sometimes it is not so. Sometimes people are not even working with the training that has been given to them. At other times, the very training they got in Nankasa is the problem. Then thirdly, sometimes to humans as we are, we shirk our responsibility. Maybe we mistakenly took someone else's blood sample and replaced it with another person. So we are going to administer something, and as it goes into the person's system, the person is reacting differently, and he's saying, I don't want it. And it is not even because the prescription is not right, but there could be error. So the person is reacting because he is not the person you should give the blood to. Maybe he's not the sickle cell patient. By your labs, possibly, so it's something. So you are giving the blood, and now this person is rather reacting because you are giving too much blood. He already has enough. He doesn't need any. It was supposed to go to the sickle cell patient's bed, not his. So now it is giving a reaction. As soon as the person reacts, you have to listen. Don't say you don't know anything. You are giving we are SS down here, farmer. Before long, you have killed someone. So what? So whilst we know that the doctor is the expert and we want to respect, we come back to the beginning discussion, what we raised, that he could be wrong, there could be an error, the training he has that we respect so much may not have been updated. Maybe it's a 3310 or Nokia something training. That is not the current iPhone kind of training, or even if it's iPhone, I'm using figurative expression to help you. Even if it's iPhone, it's not the latest iPhone. So people may still not have even what is apt in terms of training, the toppest training. And where they even have it, they are not God. There could be a different, people thought sickle cell patients will die before 18 years. We don't have that now currently because research has improved. So I'm trying to say that for all these possibilities, we have to be conscious as ethical persons when we are prescribing do this or don't do that. We have to be conscious of autonomy, beneficence, non-malfeasance. And then given the particular scenario we find ourselves in, we give a response, we administer what we think we are able to, and still know that it could have been this, it could have been that, or vice versa. So there isn't a yes or no, right or wrong, I have won or I've lost. It is how you are able to defend the supposed view that you have. I'll take Jude now, then afterwards I can take Shadrach, and then we will continue. We still have some time, so go ahead.
Doctor.
Go ahead, Jude.
Doctor. Yeah, please. I'm not against Gifty's idea.
So we now make it, I'm not against the defense of autonomy, or I'm not against the physician's view. You know, let's make it about the issue and no longer
I'm not
about
against.
person.
In some situations, you have to actually take out certain steps. I'm not against the physician's view that certain, let's say they will take certain actions before individual consent comes in. But person is in a situation to be able to decide for himself whether this medication is good for him or her. The person should be informed before.
Yeah, so continue.
There are some situations whereby doctors actually, because of their profession, they assume they actually know what they are doing. They think it's to be. We all have our beliefs. We all have what we embrace, our spiritual beliefs and our religious beliefs. Therefore, probably it might not be something physical as perceived by the doctor. It might be something spiritual. And when a doctor or a medical practitioner went off to give a medicine that will actually compromise the life of the patient, is an offense.
Yeah.
So you need to take that into consideration.
Exactly. But why did the patient go to the doctor in the first place? Since you know that, so you should take it out. You should say, okay, I want to discharge myself. Okay.
Yeah. So it depends on the doctor to try and explain. That's the key.
Yeah.
You are there. You are working. You are just like the person advertising on the street. You explain. It's your profession. You have to explain. Even though the patient came to you, you have to explain the steps. Exactly. That's your profession. I don't know about your profession. You have to explain to me these are the precautions. Yeah. These the precautions. These are precautions. These are the consequences.
Yeah.
So do you carry out your decision? Is the person consent to decide whether to carry out or withdraw back? So you need to, if the person is in a situation to decide for him or herself, you need to inform the person rather than carrying out something out because
you are the
profession. Yeah. So I'm not actually against the idea of
beneficence and non-malfeasance.
Yeah.
But how to reconcile them depending on.
So I think.
Madam, it seems Jude didn't get me. Everyone is.
Gifty, please. I think that we should. I want to regulate it. Okay. At all. So let me take some additional input. Let's take Shadrach. I think Shadrach was next and then I'll take Abigail. I see Abigail's hand now. I have already said that we are not having,
Madam,
we are all highlighting
doctor,
different aspects.
doctor,
We are all we are all emphasizing.
doctor.
Hey, well done, eh?
Madam, Doc.
Hold on. Let me call you before. Otherwise, we'll have a marketplace of ideas. We want marketplace of ideas, but organized. Tomatoes,
Okay.
pepper, then
Okay, Doc.
I wanted to hear from, I asked to hear from Shadrach. Is Shadrach's hand gone down now? Shadrach first, then I'll come to Ivanji. I think Ivanji
Okay.
found himself
Doctor.
a good place, then we'll come back.
Doctor.
Go ahead. Is it Ivanji
Please.
now?
No,
Or Shadrach?
Shadrach.
No, Doc.
Ivanji, give me a minute. Let me take Shadrach. There was Abigail, then I'll come to you. Okay.
Doctor, with what Gifty and then Jude is saying,
yeah,
I'm not against them, but like it's. I was about to say something about what Jude is saying now. It's like it's answering the question crowd for me. With Gifty, you are the medical practitioner. You know the job. But at this stage, the consent of the individual is very important.
Yeah.
Because you cannot just stand up and say, oh, Charlie, I'm the doctor, so Charlie, what I know is what I'm doing for you.
I'm not
just
sure.
To benefit
I'm not
you
sure.
or something.
I'm sorry, but I will interrupt. I'm not sure it is really, that is really the issue. The issue is where we have a challenge. The patient is asking for something and the doctor thinks that might not help. So I think that the argument line should be, you want to, like what, just a minute, please. What my friend just said, you encourage the person, show the alternatives and let it be the person's decision as much as possible. But don't forget, so that you can continue, don't forget that you might not always have that option. What if it's an emergency? What if the person himself has lost their whatever? What if the person's relatives are not there? You don't have anyone to rely on. What would you do? That one is also there. If you hold on, please. That can also come up. And then Grace's scenario where the doctor feels that, for example, they are going to use all the money to, this man will eventually go according to what I know. So maybe he's helping. These are all various aspects to the matter. So it will depend on which one you are emphasizing, which scenario you are emphasizing. But as you emphasize that, don't forget that these are other alternatives. I have worked at a pharmacy before, Shadrach. Don't lose your trail of thought. And someone who has I don't know, they didn't call it convulsion, but it is a seizure. Walked into the shop, was pointing to some medicine up there, then he got the attack. I tell you, my friends, elderly, very honorable looking man, his head hitting, I think I said it in the video, I said it in the video. His head hitting the glass frames and what have you, and all that. And no one was supposed to touch him. The attendant that came, he says, don't touch him when he's in that scenario. He gets an attack. Nobody, even if he's going to fall into a drain, let him fall. You see, so we have such scenarios. And that is what you and the others are emphasizing, that when the person says, respect that. But the pharmacist can also be worried. The healthcare the one delivering it may be worried. What if it is because he's shy? He doesn't want people to see it. So I want you to tie that in when you are reacting. It's not always a scenario where you have all the time to engage the patient. The patient may not even be in their right frame of mind. That is the doctor's dilemma. We have to help when we have such a scenario. So shut up, please go ahead. I hope you didn't lose.
Okay, Doc. Yeah. Doc, wait, what you just said now. I think maybe the patient says with maybe an accident. The patient says maybe cut off my leg. And you are saying no, there would be maybe another alternate like an alternate so that like we can combat with what you are facing now.
Yeah.
But like still now the patient is insisting on what he or she wants you to do. At that place, are you supposed to convince the patient to accept yours, or you are supposed to by all means and ways respect his or her rights?
I think that if he had a genuine right at that time, then you have to respect it. But the patient may not be psychologically okay. Maybe the sickness might be something to do with the head. The person is psychologically derailed. Are you going to negotiate with that patient? He said, cut off my head, cut off my fingernails, give it to my husband to eat. That's the person. So these are the reality. What are you going to do? So the family people may have to come in. Who are you trusting and who are you not trusting? I say Shadrach, do you see the draft? So the drift. So not where it is maybe blood or not. It's not always like that. So that we inform our discussions are better informed. So if it is cut off my leg or don't cut off, and the person is okay in the head, fine. But what if it is a tumor in the brain and the person who we have to engage is the one in coma? We are going to decide whether to cut it or to use traditional herbs to help the person. He is not even able to engage with you. And it's not something you're going to revive a brain tumor person to ask him what. Solve it before you can. When I'm in that scenario, what should I do? I think that is where those who are making a defense for beneficence are saying that when it gets to that, there's no family person or the family people there, you don't trust. You two, we don't trust you, Dr. Nansukwa, we don't trust. But when I'm in that fix, what will I do and why? You see how the issues are now. So we are not disagreeing, but every one of us
Yes.
a place where we want to stress and emphasize and show. The one that is beautiful about our discussion so far is that nobody has said, oh, beneficence is let's throw it away. Now, no one has said, oh, no maleficence, no maleficence, you should throw it away. No one has said that. No one has said, oh, which autonomy? Put it in the dustbin. Has anyone said that? No. But we are all emphasizing different levels, each of these very important ethical principles. And if I were found in that scenario, I would have gone this way over that, and for so and so reason, then you would have gone that way. So as we listen to each other like this, it enriches our position. Then we give a better response. Okay, excellent.
Okay.
I'm so impressed. I'm thinking about something, but I don't want to say something that like giving the class some 1 mark.
Oh, Mr. Jude, wait.
I'm taking them 1 mark off. I'm coming to give you 1 mark for the class. Everybody to enjoy. You are spoiling the show. Done brilliant.
Okay.
So thank you so much, Shada. I've taken note of your input. You'll hear yourself when the recording is done. Let me take Abigail now. Then I'll go to Banji. Banji, stay at where you are so you don't lose reception. We are coming. Abigail, please go ahead.
Doctor, please, good afternoon. Please, with what Shadrach asked, what if the person is asking the doctor to cut off his leg because he's not having the money to pay for whatever they'll do for him? But the doctor never asked why he wants them to cut the leg. But he just says, since he said we should cut off the leg, we are cutting it. But maybe the doctor also has an idea when it comes in terms of money. But since he never asked, he never got to know what the reason why the person was asking for his leg to be cut off. What about that one?
Exactly. So we are back.
Madam.
The input, the enriching input is this. So if you engage the person, oh, what do you want us to cut? We have alternatives, my dear sister. You see, apart from this cutting off of your leg, amputation, we could also consider this. You say, doc, this one is expensive. This money thing I'm mentioning, we don't have maybe the credit to the planner. They say, okay, you know, we have this, but we'll have to put your name there and ask for them to help. It will be a bit embarrassing, but you have your leg back. People do that. We have a policy. So what I'm doing now as a doctor to the patient is what our colleagues are also advocating for, that give them the options, show them alternatives. Don't say that we are not cutting off that your leg. What do you know? Lie down, you lie down. You know, especially my midwife friends, hello, be patient with the mothers. I beg you respectfully. I have come there 3 times. I got a good treatment, maybe because of some from the different hospitals, but most of the times, please. Because mothers too, the mothers to be mothers, when they are in labor, they say things. Kofi Papa, God will punish you. Hey. Even Kofi Papa, who is their lover, look at what they are saying. How much more you the nurse? Auntie nurse, it's so you are lying down. You people are so wicked. Look at the pain I'm going to. Don't react to the person who is in pain. They are not correct. Me, when I was delivering, I wasn't correct. Do you know the things I was saying? Hey, I'm a lecturer. I'm a lecturer. I said all those things at La General Clinic when I was giving birth to my Facebook. You know, I was all over the place. I'm taking down, madam, please cover up. I said, oh, you forget to cover up. You know, person is in pain. So you can only empathize with the patient. Even though you are the expert and you know that it is not time yet, you are not deep. You don't impose your expert history on the patient. It is very demoralizing. You have to rise up and walk around a little. You can't sit at the hospital there and you are a stroke patient. We are helping you walk. That is not encouraging. If you don't walk, we'll go and do the operation. That's the only alternative you have. No, you can't do that. You can't.
Hello, doc.
I'm coming in a minute. The patient is not doing what you want done. And he eats salty food. When I came, your BP has gone up a little bit more. You are eating some salt. Doc, no. You can't do that. If you do that, I won't be able to continue taking care. I want you to be well, and you can be well. You just have to make sure that you are avoiding salt intake. You want to check how the medication is having an impact on you. Don't say that. Yeah, I'm going to tell them that. If I go and tell them not to eat salt, they will say I'm imposing my choice. I'm the professional. You see how we are diagnosing the two extremes, where you are imposing, where you are advising out of a place of expertise. Especially when the person came to your institution, you have a certain responsibility. Nonetheless, we don't want you also to say they came to me, so I said lie down. That baby, the way it is, when we try to deliver, you will lose the baby. So let's abort it before it becomes a problem. You come and add to our death row. Look, is she lying there or not? Tell her I don't have all the time going for my look. Oh, that is not right. So we have two extremes, and depending on the scenario, we are trying to help ourselves. And I'm happy that this will be on YouTube. You can share it, you can help people see. And then they can also bring their views, how we can help. And this is not just for a medical setting. It can be the pharmacy, it can be the caregiver coming home to take care of that sick child, or that sick grandma, or mommy in labor and all that. It could even be the herbalist, the one who is taking care of that rotten boil on Popeye, taking care of it at a herbal institution. It could even be, to some extreme sense, a spiritualist who is calling the angels to come from the mountain and all that. We respect it, but can we avoid being paternalistic about it and engaging the patient? Two more reactions. I see Abigail. Abby, let me take you now. Then I'll take Ibanji. Ibanji will end for us. It's still beautiful. Go ahead, Abigail. Abigail, we can't hear you.
Okay, madam, doctor.
Yes,
please. You
please.
have another question.
Yes.
Let's see, you go to the hospital.
Yes.
And you go with a certain problem, and the doctor finishes attending to you.
Yeah.
But along the line, he realizes something else.
Yeah.
And he says you have to be admitted, but you're also insisting you want to go home because you can't stay at the hospital.
Very good.
So upon leaving, you feel unconscious.
Yeah.
And you have to be attended on because, let me say, within 5 minutes, if they don't attend to you, you can die.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor had no other option than to attend to you because
on that expression. Don't say the doctor doesn't have any other option than to. No. The doctor will always have options. Continue. Just to help you, your presentation. Go ahead.
Okay. So he wasn't able to get access to any of your relatives. So he attended to you.
Okay.
So doctor, please, with that one, so how are you going to take it?
It's a beautiful question. I'm so amazed though. Maybe because some of you listened to the previous discussions and I mean, but that is the essence of it. It's so beautiful. See the scenario. This one, the doctor already has this patient as his patient. Then because of X or Y, she slips out that I want to go home. I'm tired. So already the records are there. She doesn't have the direct, explicit permission of the patient administer whatever drug that he has to administer now. But implicitly, the person is his patient. It's more complicated than even how you have presented it. Should he let the patient go through that? He will say, but you had her records. You know that this is her scenario. At least you can work based on what you know of her. You should have done something to help her in the name, and then stop talking about I wanted her permission. So it is dicey. What would you have done, Abigail? Me, if you ask me, I'll have a position. I can make a case that I think would be defensible. But you would have to make a decision there if you were that doctor or that ethical head of the institution and you are instructing the doctors that work under you. That go ahead, operate her. Now sooner then she should have listened to you, but she has been brought back. She's not in a position to say yes or no. There's nobody, even if she filled the form, the next of kin or whatever, you can't even reach the person now. The number you are calling cannot be reached at this moment. You have 5 minutes to save a life. Will you do autonomy or you will do beneficence? And why? It is the why that makes the case. It's not just taking a position, but your rationale, your reason, your grounds for it is what matters. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful input, Abigail. But I won't give you a yes or no. I can tell you what I would do and why. And then I can anticipate a possible response, and I am able to respond to that person to give a convincing, persuasive grounds for taking a certain decision. So you should also have same. At least let's take from all that we have heard, and then we can build on that. Thank you so much. Our very last question, Banji. Banji, please go ahead. I have a third session at 2:30 with the next City Campus class on the same themes, but the emphasis will be determined by the class. So let's take the last one and round off nicely and make ready for them. Go ahead, sir. Hey, Evangelio, people have come to work. They are interjecting.
Doc.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Doc.
Yes, sir.
Yes, from
Oh, they are same granny. Evangelio, are you somewhere outside of Ghana? I will go through all your chats.
No.
Go ahead. Maybe we should be patient. So we'll be patient, all of us. I'm shutting up. Talk. Okay. Evangelio, if you're having difficulty, kindly send me a personal note, okay? I will listen to it, and then if we even need to incorporate that in the next videos that we do, I'll add it to that so we can get an enriched video. Okay? I've seen quite a number of chats. After all that I've read, I still see 78 new added. I'll read them, and then if I have to react to help the understanding of the class, I will do that. And I will send all in my responses to you. Please make sure that you are on a WhatsApp platform. I think that the fourth platform is full now. So I'm going to send the link for the last one on Sakai. Please, you do not have to belong to more than one platform. When I see that, I'll take you off and I'll deduct a mark from you because you're making my work. You should try and be on only one platform. I'm talking about the WhatsApp platform because it's just for communication. I'll try and put whatever relevant information I'm sending across to all the platforms. And I'll take from all of you. I could have created just one Telegram or something platform, but it will make it a crowd of 1,400 students. how will you even be noticed? So they are cut into chunks. So I can come here and respond to queries here. And if it's relevant, I send it across to everyone. You see. So I'll send that final link for those who are now joining the platform. If you have a manual registration issue for this course, send me WhatsApp. I'll help you. I'm not supposed to, I don't have that time, it's the university's thing, but it is delaying. There's an assessment, there are resources that you must have. If you send your ID and write the course code and then indicate your campus. Don't add all this plenty talking. And if it is just for you to be manually added, it means you don't see the course on your course site. Give me ID, your campus, and then you can add the course so that I'll know that it's PHCL 102. And I'll manually upload you after all my sessions today so you can access content. Get yourself subscribe to the channel, the YouTube channel there, so that you can get your prompt, as I said earlier. And then study the other question and answer. The Q&A just means question and answer session. It's not the lecture proper, but it gives you elaboration in it. I'll copy all these other ones onto the channel. Then you pick the ones that you want to, or you listen to all of them to benefit. Our next topic is on deontology and consequentialism. We are focusing on business ethics. It's still a question of right and wrong, but in the business setting, we're looking at whether we should do the end, or when I say the end, is it because of the consequences of the action, or we should look at the rule that grounded the action. If we will do that well, then we will know the concept as applied. So I want to end here, and I'll take all your queries, send them to me. You have my email, you have my WhatsApp, and then we'll meet in person. This is City Campus group, the 12 o'clock group on Wednesday. God willing, next week's session is in person. I'll come there. It is at that session that we'll discuss how we want to proceed for the subsequent one. But all our lectures proper will be delivered online as videos. Okay? All of them, including when I come in person, I'll just come and take questions on lecture that I have delivered, so that we can make some good progress within the 6 weeks. Thank you very much.
I think
The best.
no, please, I think my network is not.
No, don't mind network, no. Even you don't mind the network, we'll face it together, okay? Have a wonderful afternoon and a great week. All the best.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you
Thank
too.
you, madam.
You, bye.